Good day to everyone. Welcome to Liminal Writing, where Lee and I do timed writing based on some trigger lines. And for 10 minutes, Lee and myself would just do free writing,
Mm.
keep our hands moving with our pens or typing on our keyboards and let it out
As much as we can.
as much as we can. And what are we doing today, Lee?
Today, we're talking about our hands. I can't remember how we landed on this as a trigger word, but it is part of our list. So let's talk about our hands and what we think of them. Do you want to go ahead, Tess?
Yeah, so this is what came out of our exercise. What do my hands look like? What does it say about my life journey, about me? Well, dried up and withered,
Mm.
much like how I used to wonder at my grandmother's hands with so many crisscrossing lines across leather like skin. I have
Mm.
ignored my hands and let them dry out and look like grandma's hands, I think,
Mm.
all through the past years or so of obsessive hand sanitizing, because this was during the COVID period when we wrote this. It's like torturing a baby with repeated showers and lime scale infused tap water and not grabbing that slippery bottle of baby oil. What does it say about my life journey? It
Mm.
is a sad testament of my inability to grant myself the caring, soothing respite of a blob of moisturizing lotion now and then. Funny thing is, I have jars and jars of those damn lotions. The level of supply is like people's panic buying of toilet paper during this COVID pandemic. But have I used them? No. Blah, blah, blah. I actually wrote blah, blah, blah. I look at my hands and I'm thinking of words. Just here goes. Lines upon lines, dried, withered snapshots. A finger bent, healed but crooked. They have written lines upon lines of rhymes and non rhymes, my life photographed in broken words.
Mm.
There
So
you
kind
go.
of there was like a like a prose and then
Yeah,
the
I
actual poetry
broke
that you
out a
did.
bit into some,
Yeah.
poetry in the end. Just two
Ah,
that's two stanzas.
look at you.
Your
You had the
turn.
energy within 10 minutes to do that.
It flowed.
It's
Your
good.
turn.
What do my hands look like? I used to think they were pudgy, squat, square fingers, fleshy, nails flush to the tips. I imagined what it would be like not to have them. What would life be like without these hands that hold, grab, tweak, cup, extend, and give?
Mhm.
My hands that have held bits of soil from mama's rice land in mga tarab. It has tried to catch the cool waters from the river in my papa's hometown in Sorsogon that flowed back to the Pacific Ocean. These hands allowed pleasures of taste, of flesh, and of creating.
Nice. There's a bit of your childhood coming out there and in the
Yeah,
provinces of your
yeah. I guess
parents. Yeah.
I
Nice.
that's the also the start of being of looking at your hands and thinking,
I
they're
know.
they're pudgy. And I think it comes from, when you see representations in media of what beautiful hands should look like,
Yeah,
right?
because there's
So
hand
that,
models.
yes, correct. But then I've come to realize that these hands really work for me for the kind of work that I do. It's easy to type, do research, flip books, and I can
True.
hold
True.
weights,
Yeah.
and I can cook with them. I can eat with them.
Cook, write, play the guitar.
Yeah, then for you, right? In the end, it works, but I think I just started with the thought of what was my first, at least I remember thinking of what do my
Oh, yeah.
hands look like and what do they mean to me?
Yeah. But it was true at one point. I was like, oh my God. I was looking at my hands. I was like, they've become like, you remember when you were a child and you look curiously at your grandma's hands or their skin, and I was like, oh, that's how an old person looked like. And there was a point when I was just sanitizing it all the time, like almost, yeah,
You know what?
obsessively,
I remember
compulsively, just
you
like, oh,
I remember you telling me about you
yeah,
having lots of different jars
I
for
still do.
moisturizing, right?
Well, I'm not
And
bad.
then
I've just processed this lately, by the way, as in this week's
I'll tell
session
you
with my therapist. It was about
about
that. Well,
about having stuff or having lotions.
we talked about sleep hygiene,
Okay.
and then I was describing to him my room. I said,
Yeah.
"Oh no, I had struggled sleeping in the past weeks. I told you, right?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, and then the way I described it to him was like, overkill I did the other night was, I just, I did the, what do you call this? I did lotion, and I did essential oil, and I did the
Mm.
diffuser, and I did the classical music. And I was describing all that and dimmed lights. And he was like, it just struck him. He said that you use the term overkill when for some or most people, these are just the usual sleep routines that you kind of do
Mm.
to prepare yourself for bed and nurture, do some
Yeah.
self-care. And then I said, I realized that I actually don't like putting lotion on myself. But the
Okay.
intent is there because I have
Okay.
loads of different lotions, like just there all everywhere, and
Yeah.
bottles and bottles. I have a problem with the act of taking. That's another kind of, yeah, carryover from my issues of childhood.
Yeah.
The things that it just, so it's
About
just a, yeah, it's a manifestation of a deeper issue, I think, of that thing about self-nurture, and
mm,
it's not intuitive to me.
yeah.
So I know in my rational mind that that would be really nice to do. That's why when I'm out shopping, I'm attracted to these
Yeah.
things and I
Yeah.
like them. But when they're here, I don't really get in. There's a disconnect
Oh,
to get
okay.
into the act of actually using that, luxuriate in that,
For
whatever,
yourself.
on myself.
Mm.
Strange, no, but that came out. We had a bit of, so yeah, I got lots of those. I don't even,
So
yeah,
is it the actual act of, or it's also the feeling of the
is it the
emollient on
thing?
your skin?
Both,
Ah,
because it
talaga.
then, but I think it's the act itself of, it's almost like it's such
Of
an effort
yourself.
that then I don't deserve. Maybe it's an effort, but
Mm.
it's pleasurable and it's for myself,
Mm.
but it doesn't flow that way, and so it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try and fix that.
There's a part of you that I guess accumulates this and puts it in because you have that intention of taking
Yes,
care of
yeah,
yourself.
yes.
So
But it
it's
doesn't,
just maybe
that's why
a
I'm saying the
couple of
disconnect.
steps more.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. Push it forward. Because it's all there. I've got loads, like different, even for my face or stuff,
Yeah.
because I tell myself that I should be doing it, and I deserve that kind of
You do.
taking care of
You do
everything.
deserve it.
But then no, we'll get there. See, never ends. These things you fix. There's always a way to evolve. Anyway,
That is
so
true.
there. So that's what I wrote. Yeah, that's my inability to grant myself of the caring, soothing
Mm.
respite of a blob of moisturizing lotion.
I think what's interesting is the common thought for both of us, like you referring to your grandma's hands. Well, for me, then it's like my parents, not necessarily their hands, but
Yeah,
where it brought me
yeah,
in connection to them,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
it's
Uh,
always kind of like rooted somewhere in
If you
our
think about it, the impressions or what we experience as young, how impressionable, is that the right word?
Mm,
We are, what
mm.
our kids are then, children
Oh
are,
yeah.
and how it kind of, even consciously or mostly subconsciously,
Ah, yeah.
influences or at least carries some aspect of it in how we think and perceive things now.
Yeah.
no, or as we grow up or grow older. So that's where it got
Yeah.
us.
It makes me think now, no matter the small actions that we do for ourselves,
Mhm.
small kids or younger generations may pick up something that we're doing that we're not necessarily conscious of,
Yeah.
and
Is
then
that
it kind of has an imprint on them, right?
yeah, yeah.
Intentionally or unintentionally.
I think it's gets taken for granted or considered a cliche almost that
Mm,
what children see adults do, there's an imprint in their brain of what
yeah.
is permissible or what is acceptable or good or bad or whatever, or the
Yeah.
way to behave. We do have the agency as we grow older, kind of discern better. But there are
Yes.
things like this, like with me, this is subconscious already that I'm only getting to, even at a late age now. This is only when I get to unpack these certain things. Why am I not doing this? It then I realized because of certain experiences that where the messaging to me was different,
Mhm.
or yeah, it
Yeah.
was not an act worthy
Mhm.
to myself to take
Yeah.
care of myself, even if the message actually and how my mom, for example, her own habits in terms she was very vain. She had a lot
Yeah.
of lotions herself and perfumes and stuff. But I kind of almost was rebelling
Took a
against it
distance from it.
because of the
Yeah.
messages. Yeah, it's messed up.
Oh.
But yeah, it's complex the way,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we either follow
Uh-huh.
instinctively or replicate what we saw, or we
Yeah.
go against it. Depends on
Uh-huh.
how the experience and the context was for you. So people and experiences can be quite complex.
Interesting threads to
I know. Yeah.
unravel and rethread again.
Like that I was able to churn out a bit of poetry in the end because I used to
Mhm.
do a lot of poetry writing
Yeah.
in my earlier years, in my 20s. But it
Mm.
kind of got lost when I lost. But it does come out. So it
Yeah.
came out like that. So nice.
Good.
Nice feeling.
All
With
right.
that,
With that then. Hands.
hands. What do you call them?
Jazz hands.
Jazz.
All right.
Till the next liminal writing session. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
See you next time.